When Eve first tasted these fruits, I saw a life-giving force within her, as if she had entered the higher realms of existence. Without fear, Eve picked and ate the fruits, and in doing so, she sinned. She became my instrument through which I would destroy her husband as well. I watched as she, filled with a strange and unnatural excitement, gathered fruits from the forbidden tree and set out to find Adam. When she met him, she told him about what had happened, told him the wise reasoning of the serpent, and begged him to immediately go to the tree of knowledge. Eve said that she had already tasted the forbidden fruits and did not feel the approach of death. On the contrary, she felt a pleasant and encouraging effect. Thus, having sinned, she became my powerful tool and actually the cause of Adam's fall. At that moment, Adam's face darkened with fright and shock. There was a struggle going on in his mind because he clearly understood. This is the enemy that the angels warned against. And if that's true, then Eve is now going to die. But she assured him that there was no death. She felt better than ever and begged him to taste the fruit. Adam knew that the ban was the only test of their faithfulness and love for God. Eve tried to calm him down, telling him that the serpent assured him of immortality, that his words were true, and that there was no God's wrath, but only happiness and bliss, like that of angels. Adam bitterly regretted that Eve had left him, but it was too late. Nothing could be fixed. He knew he had to break up with her, and he couldn't accept it, because he loved her with all his heart. In desperation, he decided to share her fate with her. Eve was a part of him, and if she was going to die, he would die with her. The thought of separation was unbearable. Faith in the mercy of the Creator was fading. He did not understand that God, who had created him from dust and breathed life into him, could have forgiven him and come up with a plan to save Eve. After all, he was thinking, or maybe the snake is telling the truth. Eve is still beautiful and innocent, and now she loves him even more thanks to the fruits. He did not see death in her, but only heard about the pleasant effects of the fruit in her ardent love. So he boldly decided to face the consequences. He took the fruit, ate it, and, like Eve, did not immediately feel its harmful effects. Then he imagined that he too was entering the higher realms of existence. But suddenly the horror of the crime filled his soul. Everything around him changed. The mild weather became cold and unwelcoming. Love and peace left his heart, replaced by fear, emptiness, and the knowledge of sin. The light that surrounded them had disappeared, and they were looking for something to cover their bodies with, because they could not appear naked before the Lord and the angels. Gradually, the understanding of the true incident reached them. Adam rebuked Eve for betraying him, for leaving him and succumbing to the serpent. They tried to convince themselves that the one who had so clearly shown them his love would forgive this violation, and there would be no terrible punishment. I was elated. I made my wife doubt God's love and wisdom, violate his law, and through her, I led Adam to fall. They still hoped that the one who had shown them his love so clearly would forgive and spare them. But a fear had already taken root within them, a fear they had never known before. It was not just a fear of punishment, but a fear of losing touch with their Creator. For the first time, they felt lonely and isolated. The garden, once full of life, now seemed dreary. Everything seemed different. The sky, the wind, the trees. It was as if creation itself had turned its back on them. The silence, which had seemed peaceful before, now oppressed them. Everything spoke of separation. Their hearts were heavy, and their hope was fading. They waited, and they feared. I watched them. I felt triumphant. Everything was going according to my plan. They are broken. Now I knew that I had started the war, and victory seemed close.